Welcome to this episode of Asia 353 podcast. Today we'll be spinning the Bollywood actor wheel, and whichever actor it falls on, we'll be discussing about their best and worst movies. Today we have Yash, Kirtana, Nikshita, and me, Aryaman. And the wheel lands on King Khan. Yay!
Okay, let's talk best movies.
Okay. I feel his best performance to date in terms of pure acting ability is My Name is Khan. I feel the role itself was very heavy and the topic itself was extremely heavy and he performed extremely well in it. I felt the movie itself could have been better, but I think he was absolutely outstanding.
I agree. I think My Name is Khan is definitely one of his best movies. I think in general, I think a lot of his movies from like the beginning of his career had a lot of fan
Following?
Yeah, fan following, and just like, what do you call it? Like, it was appealing to like a fan base, and it wasn't exactly like, essentially the whole like Karan Johar, like, you know, franchise, and like his whole genre of movies was very romance based, kind of gimmicky, not like, and I do think that Shah Rukh Khan has a lot more talent than he presents and than he chooses in his films. I think like I would compare him to Amir Khan, which they both have very similar like in like popularity in terms of like their careers, and I think in terms of just choice in films, it doesn't reflect his talent.
I feel his earlier movies, it was kind of what fit him the best, and his later on movies, he kind of got to choose them and kind of enter those characters, because I feel when he came in really early on, he was like the king of all these romance movies. He was someone who people would look up to in a romantic sense. But as he's progressed through his career, I feel he's really understood his own acting ability and it's taught him a lot, and he's kind of become a better actor through every movie.
Yeah, I feel like he had like, when he started, I feel like Bollywood started him off as like a brand of the boy next door, a boy that like everybody could relate to. So like all of his movies, everybody was like, in that time and age, like in the 90s, people were looking for like romance movies with like a boy next door and like somebody that they could like, a guy that they could relate to, like kuch hota hai from like college and like like, you know, like going on like a trip and like falling in love with like a boy.
I definitely agree, and I don't think that like era of his like films were actually that bad. I actually really enjoyed like Kal Ho Na Ho and like, you know, even Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum.
Main Hu Na
was great, yeah. But I do disagree with the idea that he's gotten better with his films, because I think he's had some really good films. I would say My Name is Khan is one of them. I think Dear Zindagi is one of them. But I don't think like his later films like Ravan or Zero or Fan, I think that they're just Pathan. Like, I think a lot of them don't have like they don't really showcase his talent at all, and the films themselves aren't even enjoyable. Like,
I agree. Like,
I feel like after a point it just became a movie with Shah Rukh Khan, and like it was because like it was attracting like that fan base, that loyal fan base that he has gathered from like his career. And so a movie, if they were able to get Shah Rukh Khan as like an actor, it would just sell with his name. And so his acting abilities, like in Dilwale, like he was just trying to portray himself with like, from like the whole Kuch Kuch Hota Hai and all wala thing with Raj and stuff, but like also acting as a gangster and including the whole Don aspect of his career, and just kind of just like creating an actor or creating a character from his like past career. It didn't like have any range or like anything new for the fans to see.
I completely agree with that. I think his later movies have just been a lot more about Shah Rukh Khan rather than the characters he's playing.
Yeah.
Okay, on to the next question. What effect do you think Shah Rukh Khan as an actor has on the audiences he on the audiences he caters to.
So I think what we were talking about earlier about his like just his presence as the the boy next door, the heartthrob. I think he has had like a huge effect on just the idea of romance within like the Indian public. I think there's been a lot of discourse about how Bollywood kind of romanticizes kind of creepy behavior and things like that, which I think is interesting. Definitely still exists. You see its remnants in like movies like Kabir Singh and whatever else. But definitely, like, I think growing up, like, he definitely was like an ideal for like how you would want your romantic life to play out. You want like the Kal Ho Na Ho version of him. You want him to like look you red in the eyes and tell you that he loves you.
Yeah.
Like that. I think that definitely that idea of the hopeless romantic.
It does definitely play into
Yeah.
that. I feel like we've all, like, at least I personally have thought about bumping into a Raj on a family holiday or something and then just like having my love story.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like he definitely did have an effect on our generation, the generation before us, and their like perception of romance. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
I think it does. Okay. Another question that I think would be nice here is, in terms of his movies, which one did you have the biggest expectations from, and which one do you think let you down the most from those expectations? I can start off with this one. I think Ravan for me was one of those where I went into the movie with with really high expectations, because I felt like after Krish that was one of the superhero movies that I was really looking forward to, but I don't think it was executed the best. In just pure words, I think it should have been executed better. I just had a lot higher hopes from him, and yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree. I think like in retrospect, like I watched that film a little later and I think I thought that like that was not the best film, but I think that at the time that I watched it and the effect that Shah Rukh had on my like just my like perception of his films, I think I really enjoyed it at that time. But yeah, I think that I think for me one of the movies that I think let me down was probably Chennai Express, because honestly, like as a South Indian, I was like very excited to see some sort of like accurate representation of South India in a Bollywood film, and it really just played on every single stereotype that they could have picked on ever. But yeah, I think that definitely was a letdown. But in terms of films that I really enjoyed, I think Dear Zindagi was really good. I think that it's interesting how that was a film that wasn't centered around Shah Rukh Khan, and he still did such a great job of
Making an impact.
making an impact in the film. Yeah.
Another question that I think I can ask here is that, how do you think they could have improved their career? Like, do you think anything's left for Shah Rukh Khan to achieve to still to get on top of Bollywood, I guess?
I feel like, according to the audiences, he's on top of Bollywood already. He's King Khan for a reason, but there's definitely some aspects of his career that I feel like if he wouldn't have accepted would have done him some benefit, or would have like been beneficial for him. Like I feel like a tipping point in his career was when he said yes to the movie Happy New Year, because I feel like that started like the flop era for Shah Rukh Khan, and like that like brought about like the change in like his characters to something that maybe he wanted to do, and like the genre, like like I don't think
Like,
it like
I think that genre was done really well by Akshay Kumar.
yeah.
And he didn't really live up to that, and I guess like his fan base does follow him, but I don't see how
Yeah, I feel like
the movies were that great
Yeah,
or his forte at all.
I feel a lot of it also has to do with the fact that Happy New Year was directed by Farah Khan, who also directed one of his better movies, at like Om Shanti Om, which I think is an absolutely fantastic movie. It has everything that I would look for in a movie. It has
Yeah.
the romance angle. It also has that really deep drama angle as well, and has a little bit of comedy here and there. And you don't see that a lot in movies who can give you the whole package nowadays. But I just feel like a lot of his movies later on in life has to do with appeasing certain audiences as well as appeasing directors and appeasing a lot more than just himself.
Yeah, I think Bollywood in general has become quite safe in their films. They're not really pushing the boundaries of what our talent can do. And yeah, I think
I think so, yeah. Another question that I can ask you, do you think that Shah Rukh Khan has range?
I don't really think so.
I think he does.
I think as far
I
as
think he has
actors go,
range. And I think that again it boils down to his choice in films, which I have no particular liking for. But
I think as far as actors go, as far as Bollywood actors go, I think Shah Rukh Khan definitely has range. He's done everything from Boy Next Door, as you said, something more serious and something more adventurous.
yeah, like think about like all like
Like,
think about the genres. Like
I'm
you
not-
have Dawn, you
It's-
have like My Name is Khan, you have Om Shanti Om, you have Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, you have Kal Ho Na Ho, you have just
It's not so much as about like portraying the character, but also to a degree about portraying the character well. Like after like Dawn or like his older films ending with, let's say, Rab Din Rab Ne Bana Di Jodi or something, his range kind of went down, and like you could see that Boy Next Door attitude and like his persona coming into each and every one of his characters. Like a good example of this would be Pathan, his recent film, where he like in an action-packed film, he still like had like you could still see that like hint of like his Dawn or like his like Kuch Kuch Hota Hai like character coming out.
But then again, I feel that a lot of that has to do with mass appeal and appeal to the audiences that he's trying to portray. That like
and directing.
And
right?
directing,
Like,
absolutely,
It's
like-
got to do with what you're being told to portray, and I think that again it boils down to choice and like the films he's choosing to do, because like I would say range is what you've seen him do, right? Like you've seen him like portray characters that are not easy to portray. You've seen him actually like push his like artistic boundaries to like his limits, and I don't think that recently he has not been doing that, but I don't think that has much to do with like what he can do. It's more to do with what he's choosing to do.
Okay, I think that concludes today's discussion about Shah Rukh Khan and his beautiful filmography. And thank you all for listening, and hope you have a good day.